When I first started playing Counter-Strike, I was Silver 3 in 2015, and I really thought that if I could just get a little bit higher, that my teammates would be a little bit more with it. But I'm here now, and I've discovered that that's just not the case. And so this is Counter-Strike homework that I wish everybody at this rank did. I think mostly I'm going to start out going map to map, because it's just easier that way. And this is going to be mostly, I think, positional as opposed to like tactical. If you're a chess player, you'll understand. But what I mean by that is I'm not going to be showing a million smokes. I think people should know smokes, but I think that that's like secondary to the problems I see. I think that a lot of people think that if they just learn, like, you know, 10 smokes, they'll be good to go and know how to play the game. It's just not true. But first off, I want to start with like the biggest fucking problem I see. This is going to be me angry, I think, the whole time. But we're all gonna chill out, and we're all gonna be okay with it. I want to start off with the CT's job on A site Dust 2, because I think it's like the weakest part of any CT's play on Dust 2 that I have noticed. I want to talk about roles on A site. There's a couple different options, and obviously like things are going to change throughout. But I think one of the most default settings setups you can do is at the very start of the round. And I've been playing spawns recently, so instead of just going B every round, it's like the two closest spawns, because there's 5 spawns, right? There's like boom, 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 boom. And so, you know, if you spawn here, you're gonna get to A doors way faster, right? So I think spawns on Dust 2 is huge. You don't have to, but I think for what I'm showing, right, this kind of setup where the first two guys, the two guys closest to A doors, come out, and one of them throws a molly and one of them throws a HE, like that kind of setup is huge for a couple of reasons. But the reason you do that is so that you can get one guy planted either in pit, you know, or up here, so that he can just watch this. This is just an angle that he has the advantage if they try to push out, right? Even if 4 guys are pushing him, right? Play anti-flash, play whatever, and then you're just sitting and watching. And the dude coming out here, right? He has to watch this, he has to watch this, he has to clear all this shit. It's too much, right? You just get the drop on at least one guy, hopefully, and you're in a good position. The error I see is that the other dude, the second guy to follow you up, just kind of sits here. And that's like, the point of the guy in this position is to have a strong position, right? This dude is just going to die if he's peeked. So you're going to get flashed out, you're going to struggle to get back to site, and then a lot of times when they fall back to site, they push down into CT, and it's like, what am I supposed to do from this position, right? I get smoked off, and now I'm like, ah, shit. And as they're crossing, now I'm trying to scramble up. I'm here jumping, inaccurate, while this guy's like pushing here, and he could be shooting me from there, right? And then the end result is that everybody's stuck scrambling to try and get to site while everybody's smoked out, and it's just a bloodbath. What I would like to see personally, this is not an end all be all, this is not a one size fits all solution, this will like win your games, whatever, but it's something that I wish more people did, is the 2 guys coming down here, right? Keep in mind that one of these players is your A anchor. It's not the guy who's going to sit here and just watch the corner and hold the corner, right? It's the guy who's going to come back, especially if you lose cat or get smoked off or anything. It's the guy who's going to come back and just be the A anchor, right? Watch whatever you need to watch, do whatever you need to do. You know, if they're pushing up long and you need to watch cat still, like drop a smoke down so you have coverage, you know, just smoke cat, whatever you need to do. But play site, get comfortable playing on site, especially in a couple positions. I think this is like the default position. I don't like it. I think that people come up here and they literally just hard look this angle. And it's like you have Ninja back here, you have Barrels here. I think that Barrels is the strongest position. Unless you're getting pushed cat, just sitting here, you can almost always pick one off. And genuinely the only thing you have to watch out for, other than a cat push, is the guy jumping up here, right? And he'll have an angle on you, but he's jumping up at the time. Like, you should have the ability to do this, and you can throw mollies and shit. I just like, you have so many options as the A anchor. Why you wouldn't play on site is beyond me. Again, there's different you know, situations where maybe you don't, you know, maybe they're really good at throwing all this like util and stuff, and you're getting like, you know, you're absolutely fucked if you stay on site. And then play CT, play for retakes, whatever, that's fine. But more often than not, I see players just drop CT for no reason when they could just be upper like this, get a free. I guarantee, like at like 75% of the time, that is a free kill. Just the guy running up ramp, not expecting you to sit barrels, like tucked here, just hit head, done. You're good to go, you know. And hopefully by that point you can hold them off long enough, like throwing flashes and stuff too long to delay them to get your rotates in. I think rotates on Dust 2 come in slow on A as well, so the longer you can just stay alive on A site, contributing to the fight as opposed to just letting them take site and then like struggling to this retake, because I think this retake is so fucking bad. But I digress. I think staying on site and staying alive is your job as the T player, or as the CT player, the A anchor, and the longer you can do that, the more successful you'll be. I think in this middle spawn position, the same sort of applies. But in this position, right, you're doing one of two things. You're probably playing cat, or you're playing mid. But I want to talk specifically about the cat guy, because I think there's a couple different ways to play this. I think they're all good for a couple different reasons, but you have to know kind of what you're doing in them. So this, like, I think a lot of people play this angle, you know, get a pick or two and then fall off. Again, CT, and just kind of sit here as they're pushing out. And that's fine, you can get picks this way. I think your long has to be kind of clear for that to matter at fucking all. One thing that I wish more people in my rank did, and again, it's not like, I'm not a pro player, right? Like, I don't know that this will get you to the fucking big leagues or nothing, but like, I think a lot of players play this scared, inactive position where you can't really do anything cat. You may get a kill or two and then fall off, but then you're stuck in CT down here. Like I said, that is frustrating and suffocating to play, and the retakes are fucking bad, and you like, I don't know, I hate the drop off here. What I have found to be more successful is early round, if you get up, right, you can come up here and throw this smoke and play this with a rifle. You could op whatever, you know, whatever you're comfortable with. But I think playing in this kind of close position where you are securing cat, and yes, you do smoke off lower for your mid guy, but he can just watch lower instead of cat. If you're playing this with a competent mid player, I think this is a great setup. It's a setup that I think is particularly strong if you are continuously losing a site to a cat push. More players just need to play confident in that role instead of kind of falling off and playing scared about it. I think op is huge for cat as well. I think you have a ton of different angles. I mean, you can play here, you can play, you know, barrels, you can play deep cat like I was saying, or like on boxes here. You have like tucked positions there if you maybe even have another like rifler here to support you. And then like falling off to sight once you get your first pick, not just re-peeking. Because right, you can throw util, suddenly you're just up a number, and now you can just hold again. Like there's so many options you have as the op player, especially on A, that I think people don't utilize. They just kind of like either get long and sit long, or stand here and play like this scared cat. Like you have 2 or 3 bullets you can shoot and then you drop and just wait for retake, and it's like it's inactive. It allows them to suffocate you. You don't have agency in the game, and then you end up on the bottom of the leaderboard. I think with the more active positions, especially trusting yourself to play them, like the front cat position, like allowing yourself to come up here early round, throw this smoke, and just sit here with a rifle like a rat. You know, if they know you're doing it, you can start chucking util to kind of prevent them from coming up here. But you can play a couple different angles, right? If they know you're here and they like stop pushing through smoke, maybe you can play up a little bit. Like look for the tons guy who's maybe going to peek it. Maybe take some shots through smoke if they're playing top mid. That sort of thing. Like that's the active gameplay that I think is gonna that I think takes people to the top of the leaderboard and like ultimately helps people win games. Again, these are just like some morsels for thought. It's not really, you know, a one-size-fits-all solution, but it's stuff that I wish I saw more out of teammates. As for the 2 mid-ish B guys, sometimes 3, however you're playing, would like to see a little bit more is one of 2 things. Either going for the mid pick a lot more, or going for the mid pick a lot less. I think there's just people who for some reason know how to do it, and some people who just fucking struggle all game to hit a damn shot. I think one of the safest ways you can do this is, it doesn't matter if you're first spawn or second spawn here, right? As you're coming here with the op, just sit here. Sit up here wait for your teammate to cross, whether he was if he was in front of you, great, you can kind of go for this pretty fast. If he's second, fine, give him a second, literally a second to cross. That first shot will come out, and then you can scope in. I guarantee you, in the 25Ks, in the fucking 20Ks, definitely in the 15Ks, everybody is re-peeking this, hoping that they can get a shot. So you let him jump. T takes the first shot. You're scoped in. Wherever he is, bam, done. You know what I mean? And I swear that will get you so many kills in game, in round. It will boost you on the leaderboard. You'll be playing a 4v5 most of the game. Now, important to note, as a CT player on Dust 2, when you take that shot and you miss, or your guy does get killed, and then like the repeak's not happening, or whatever the fuck. Say you take the shot. It is now your job, and some players are different, and some people are really good at repeaking and like taking the shot. I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, when you repeak this angle, it's a disadvantage. You are at a disadvantage peeking the guy, and you can get the kill. It's doable. I'm not saying like this shit doesn't happen, and you're never gonna. But if you're playing to win, you're playing to get kills and stay alive and help your team as long as you possibly can in the round, I promise you, you will have better opportunities to do that, not re-peeking into this op player in T-spawn. I think a much better option to re-peeking after you miss your first shot is to either just watch this top mid push, because people just walk out. Nobody waits for the Xbox smoke. I promise you, people won't wait for the Xbox smoke until they're playing in a professional LAN match. Like, they just fucking walk out. It is free pickings all the way around. Obviously watch a little bit later in the round for this lower push, or just help your B guy out, kind of watch mid passive. You can watch from boxes, whatever the hell you want to do mid. And then this is when it is super important for the mid guy to watch the state of the map. And what I mean by this is that your teammates are not going to play their positions. They just won't do it. It is your job as hopefully the person who wants to climb on this team to fucking watch where the gaps are and fill them. And so the biggest gap I see on Dust 2 is this long player. This is what they do, right? You help your teammate get long, like we were saying, you fall back off to site, whatever. This long player's playing long. He's sitting here, he's happy, he's doing whatever. It's like 3 seconds into the round and he's antsy, he's bored. So he just starts pushing up. He's in here, he's getting space, whatever. He's getting info, he's getting kills, whatever the fuck he's doing. Great, whatever. He's here now. What has this done? There's a big vacuum on A. If their team has just walked cat, right? They've smoked out, they've done whatever. If they are now up cat, you've lost an A player. Your A anchor, yes, he only has to watch one thing because you cleared long. Wonderful. He's now alone. He's now fighting a 1v4 or whatever the fuck he's fighting. There's no assistance. And so I think a lot of players want to do this like long flank, get a couple kills late round. That's cool. Like, you flanked them, good shit. I think you're way more likely to be useful to your team in the fight on a site as the guy playing long. Especially because if you push through and then there's a late rotate from B, you can get got long anyway. And so it's like you're really just removing yourself from the fight when you're pushing A doors. So as the mid player, I think it is okay, and I honestly even expect it to fucking rotate and fill the gap when you're seeing crazy flanks come in like that. It's like the same thing to watch B, although the solution is also just go A, because if he pushes B tons and then not like, and then he's like seeing nobody stocked up for a B push and like cat's kind of empty, you can kind of just assume it's long. Like state of the map stuff I think is huge, especially for the mid player on every map, but on Dust 2 especially, to be there, to be on site, especially with op for the execute is insanely useful, and early rotates mid I think are useful, as long as you let especially your B guy know that you've given up mid or whatever, so he can accommodate. Maybe the cat player can help him, or if somebody's pushing fucking A doors, like that shit can be helpful as well. I wouldn't strand your B player most of the time unless you're losing long pretty consistently, and then just play percentages. You don't have to play, you don't have to play mid all the fucking time. If they're not pushing mid, who fucking cares, That's the kind of shit that I wish like more teammates would look at, especially playing mid on Dust 2. Now to talk about B, he's pretty interesting because it feels like an island. I think B is a bit tricky. Um, there's a couple things you can do to always make it easier, like that molly kind of stops rushes, but you know, they smoke it out and then what you gonna do, you know? I think B is a really good way to practice just holding solo sites. Like B is kind of what A feels like sometimes when your team isn't playing with you, or they're pushing through long, or they're just playing CT and you're the A anchor, like, dude, get up the fucking site, like I need help. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it feels like on A, because I think rotating here is so hard, and like the rushes can come in so quick that you don't have time to like call for rotates or anything or gather info. It just kind of happens. So I think this is where holding on to util is super useful, and using it. Like molly, I like to throw smoke preemptively, so we're not like, you know, I'm not questioning when the shit is coming. I think a lot of what I want to see on B is like just delaying death and playing tricky so that rotates can come in faster, and so that, you know, bomb hasn't been down for 10 seconds by the time people start showing up. It's like if you can delay for plant, because that's really your job on B, you're not really gonna hold bomb like from getting onto site a lot of the times, I think, unless you have a competent mid player who's kind of, you know, helping you out and not afraid to like push onto site and help you instead of playing for retake. But again, sometimes that's tricky and tough and difficult, and like really I think playing different angles, smoking it out, and then trying to catch the first guy unawares is huge. That's a shit smoke, but you get the idea. But like if you've been playing back site for the last like 3, you know, takes, maybe switch it up, maybe play a front angle, play in one of these 2 cubbies, get on top of boxes. Something I think a lot of people don't do, and because they're scared to do it, I don't know, is play in this position. Like, this is such a powerful position, and yeah, you can be fucking, you know, mollied out or whatever, but I think more often than not, especially like you have a smoke down, if you know it's a B take, especially like later round, or they're, you know, pushing up, like they've taken out your mid guy, they're pushing up mid, this is so strong to just sit here and kind of like pick a guy off, be annoying, play annoying, wait for rotates to come in, delay plant as much as you can. Like, that stuff is huge. Really just delaying plant on B, I think, is the best you can do to help your teammates get a win if the exec is coming in on B site. These are a couple tiny things, but I wanted to say them because they irk my heart when they happen. Pushing mid on eco rounds. If the call comes in to push mid on eco round, right? And I'm up here, and I'm fighting these guys, whatever. I hate this motherfucker. I hate that guy. Let me just hold this. Let me just hold this. Just hold the push, the push. Again, I'm up here fighting for my life, and I always got some friends fighting out here, you know, with me. But oh my god, because a lot of times people tuck this way, and so I think you can isolate not by just peeking shallow, because you're at a disadvantage peeking pistols at that range. You just are. But you swing wide. You're cutting out all these people and swinging the guy who tucks in here. You can swing him like fucking 4 or 5 at once, and he's almost always dead. People forget to play for trades on eco rounds, and it's like that's when it's most important. That's a small thing, but it irks my bones. Those are my biggest CT side Dust 2 pet peeves. A little homework for those who maybe haven't thought about it as much as I have. And I hope you gained something out of this video. I hope the kind of positional information was interesting, thought-provoking, or at least a little bit helpful. I don't know. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I'm sure there's droves of people who would yell at some of these things, but it's just, as far as I'm concerned, when you queue in with 4 strangers, try and put a competent play together can be really fucking difficult. And I think some of these tips have kind of just grown from my frustration of that, and trying to get people to work together. So I hope something was useful here. If you like it, hit the button down below for more. I'll see you later.